Welcome back to Shadows of the East, where we uncover chilling true crime stories and forgotten horrors from across Asia. I'm your host, Im Kaito from the Dread Files, and tonight, we're diving into a case that haunted an entire city, one so disturbing it was named after a child's toy. This is the story of the Hello Kitty murder. The year was 1999. Hong Kong was still adjusting to life under Chinese sovereignty, having just returned from British rule in 1997. Among the neon-lit streets of Kowloon, a dark secret was hiding behind the doors of a small apartment, and it all started with a young woman named Fan Man-yee. Fan had a hard life. Abandoned at a young age, she grew up in an orphanage, struggled with drug addiction, and later turned to sex work to survive. At 23, she was working as a hostess in a nightclub, where she crossed paths with a man who would soon seal her fate. His name was Chan Man-lok, a 34-year-old drug dealer and member of a local triad. When Fan allegedly stole a few thousand Hong Kong dollars from him, he didn't just demand repayment, he wanted revenge. In March 1999, Fan was abducted by Chan and two of his accomplices, Leung Wai-lun, age 21, and shockingly a teenage boy just 14 years old named Leung Xing-cho. They took her to a rundown apartment on Granville Road, Tsim Sha Tsui. And for the next month, Fan was subjected to unimaginable torture. They beat her, burned her with melted plastic, forced her to consume feces and urine, all while laughing and playing video games. Fan Man-yee was treated not as a person, but as an object, something to hurt, something to destroy. After weeks of torment, Fan's body finally gave out, but the nightmare didn't end with her death. Her body was dismembered, boiled, parts were discarded. But what made this case infamous was what they did with her skull. They stuffed it inside a large Hello Kitty mermaid doll. Yes, you heard that right. A child's toy became the final resting place of a murdered woman. Months later, the youngest of the three, the 14-year-old boy, began to suffer from intense nightmares. Haunted by Fan's ghost, he finally went to the police. At first, authorities didn't believe him. The story sounded too horrific to be true. But when they searched the apartment, they found the Hello Kitty doll. Inside, Fan Man-yee's skull, along with some teeth and internal organs. The rest of her body was never recovered. The case went to trial in 2000. But here's the shocking part. All three were convicted of manslaughter, not murder. Why? The jury couldn't prove they intended to kill her. They were sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 20 years. The case shook Hong Kong to its core. It was featured in documentaries, films, and even inspired ghost stories. People couldn't forget the image, a child's toy stuffed with the remains of a tortured woman. The Hello Kitty murder wasn't just a crime. It was a descent into cruelty, madness, and moral collapse. It asked terrifying questions about what humans are capable of when they lose all sense of empathy. Fan Man-yee was more than a victim. She was a person failed by society long before her death. And even today, her story is a grim reminder of the darkness that can hide behind closed doors. Thank you for listening to Shadows of the East. If this story gripped you or chilled you, don't forget to follow and leave a review. It helps us reach more true crime fans like you. Until next time, stay safe and stay in the light.